Alright guys, how's it going? Bandwidth Hog coming at you with a YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about my computer build. This is going to be my channel introduction. And then as time goes on, I'm going to be doing more of a channel update series. Talking about where I am in life, what my goals for the channel are, and the channel schedule, and what my future plans for the channel are. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about my computer build. As you can see here, I'm on PC part picker. I have my computer sort of parted out piece by piece. At the bottom I'm going to show you the price of it. Alright, this is in no way, shape, or form an endorsement. This is just the parts I chose as I was building the PC. I'm going to talk to you about why I chose the PC, some of the regrets I have from some of these parts, and then eventually I might do a parts breakdown list, and I might do a sort of a part spec description where I talk about the different components of a general purpose computer and what the different specs mean, just in case you guys are wondering. Alright, so first off we're gonna go with the CPU here. My CPU is the Ryzen 7 1700 processor. It's 8 cores, 16 threads. Cores are the amount of physical processing units in a CPU. Cores are the amount of logical processing units in the CPU. Alright, so when I first bought this almost 2 years ago, it was probably around $330. Right now you can get it for about $160, which is not a bad deal for a CPU. Alright, so when I first bought this 2 years ago, I was planning on doing some content creation, some streaming, just a bunch of other stuff. But here we are almost 2 years later and I'm just now starting to do this. But better late than never. Alright, so it's got lots of overhead room for things such as streaming and recording. And that's really all I have to say about the CPU. It comes with a stock cooler, but I'm not really using that stock cooler. It's not a bad stock cooler actually. It's a very nice stock cooler. You can get some mild overclocks with it. But I'm actually using a different CPU cooler here, as you're about to see, which is the Corsair H100i V2. It's an all-in-one cooler, which means that it's a pump and the fans and the radiator all in one. So the way an all-in-one cooler works is this base part right here, you put it on the CPU socket. It has a copper plate. Heat is transferred to the copper plate. The copper plate transfers heat to the liquid inside the cooler. The pump circulates the liquid through the fins. Fans then cool down the fins and cools down the liquid. The liquid then recirculates back into the pump. The cooled liquid picks up the heat and the cycle just continues. Alright, so this cooler is RGB, and by that I mean the logo here lights up. Corsair uses their IQ software, but for some reason whenever I have the IQ software running, the fans tend to whir up to max speed. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm troubleshooting that currently. If I figure out a solution for it, I'll let you guys in on it. Alright, next we got the Gigabyte AX370 motherboard. Alright, once again, RGB motherboard. It shows up orange here, but it's not actually an orange motherboard. Alright, it's actually just a black motherboard with 2 LED strips on it. Alright, the VRMs on this are kind of anemic. The VRMs are the voltage regulators for the CPU. I'm planning on upgrading to the 3900, and if it's a good overclocker I might need to change my motherboard because I'm not sure if the VRMs will be able to handle that. But otherwise it's a very great motherboard. Alright, plenty of IO as you can see here. Alright, I have, other than the VRMs, I have zero complaints about this motherboard. Alright, so here we have G.Skill Trident RGB memory. Alright, 3200 memory DDR4. Alright, I have 32 gigs total. Alright, when I first built this PC, I had 16 gigs of G.Skill's Ripjaws, 2400 memory, and Ryzen is actually the Infinity Fabric is actually tied to the speed of your memory. It's about half the speed of your memory. So there's two CCXs in the processor, and the speed at which they communicate is tied to your memory speed. So if you have faster memory, the speed at which the two CCXs, so it's 4 cores in one, 4 cores in the other, the speed at which they communicate is much faster. Alright, so as I said before, when I first got this, I had 16 gigs, but I found that as I was doing things, playing Minecraft, I really got it from Minecraft, right? So as I was playing in Minecraft, I had a server hosted on my computer at the same time while I was hosting. Then if I started to open a couple Chrome tabs, I would see my computer start to chug a little bit. Alright, Minecraft would start to lag. And so I upgraded to the 16 gigs of this, and then I added another 16 gigs. So normally I'll see my CPU usage around 20 gigs. Alright, so I still have plenty of headroom to say have a Blender render running in the background or something like that. Alright, next we have the storage. I'm not gonna go into this too much here, but I have two 3 terabyte storage. Alright, so this first one here is for my this was bought recently actually. This right here was bought recently. So this first 3 terabyte storage is actually for my OBS videos. I'm currently recording this through OBS, and I tend to do several takes in my videos. Like this video right here, I'm probably in like the 10th or 11th take right now. Alright, so all those takes I store on this drive, and then later on I go back, create a new folder for them, and then I put them in that folder, and that's gonna be my editing video folder. And then I like to go back and look at the videos, see what I could have done better, see any mistakes I've made. The second one is actually a mass storage, so movies, TV shows, music, photos, stuff of that nature. Alright, this right here is an NVMe drive. It actually plugs into a special slot on your motherboard. Alright, 250 gigs. I use this as my main OS drive, and I have a couple of programs that I need to load fast, such as Sony Vegas Pro, which is my editing software that I recently got. Well, not recently, I got it a while ago. And just other programs, Corsair IQ, RGB Fusion, Razer Synapse, alright, for my peripherals. Next I have Samsung 860 EVO. I actually have videos that I'm currently working on, or videos that I plan to edit, stored on this drive just for fast access. And then I have a 1 terabyte SSD that I use primarily for game storage. Next I have a Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1070. This graphics card is pretty good for 1080p gaming, and it's alright at 1440p gaming. Actually, my main monitor is actually a 1440p drive, 1440p monitor. Alright, and this graphics card is currently driving it. Alright, this is obviously a couple years old. Alright, I got it Black Friday 2016. Alright, now we're at the 2070 series, or with the 2000 series. They have the 2070, 2080, 2080 Ti, 2060. Alright, but this graphics card is going to be perfectly fine. I would not pick it up at this price though. At this price I would actually just go ahead and grab a 2070. The reason I like this graphics card though is actually because in OBS, when you're encoding, NVIDIA has its NVENC encoder, which is just amazing. It has very minimal impact to your system's performance while recording or while encoding. Alright, so if you're streaming or recording from one PC, using the NVENC to encode just takes a lot of strain and helps preserve the fidelity of your broadcast, so to speak. Next we got the Fractal Design Meshify C. It's the ATX mid-tower case. It comes with two 120mm fans, one in the front for intake, one in the back right here. You can see this is exhaust. Let's see if I can find it here. This is an intake fan. I actually have my Corsair H100i mounted at the top here. I plan to do probably some B-roll footage of my CPU build at some time. I'll probably put it in here. And also, if I go back to the back here, it has 2 mounts for hard drives and then 3 mounts for SSDs. Alright, I really like the look of this case. The sort of, I really don't know what to say, the sort of like abstract sort of design on the front of the case. Tempered glass panel. It's like minimalist but sort of exotic at the same time. I really like the look of this case. Alright, next we have the Corsair CXM 750 watt power supply, 80 plus bronze certified. I'm not going to go too much into what the specification on these parts are. I'll probably do a couple separate videos in the future detailing what these mean, but this is a semi-modular power supply. Alright, so whatever cables, it has the CPU power and the motherboard power attached, but everything else you have to attach it as you need it. Alright, it's 750 watts. I actually got that just in case I need a little bit of extra headroom. Maybe I added a second graphics card, or maybe I wanted to upgrade my CPU in the future, and maybe I wanted to overclock, and that would have taken me above, say, a 500 watt power supply. As you can see, we're sitting at 398 right now without an overclock. Alright, next I have a dual monitor setup here. I actually have these mounted on a VESA stand, which I'm going to show you later. Alright, so this one right here is a Asus monitor, 1920 by 1080, 144 hertz monitor. Alright, 24 inches. Alright, it's a TN panel, 1 millisecond response time. People say, oh, if it's not this response time, I don't want it. But me personally, I don't play first person shooters. I typically do strategy games. So the response time on the monitor isn't such a big deal for me. The reason I got this is because it was very cheap. I bought it at the local Best Buy for about $150-ish. Alright, it was my main driver for about a year before I upgraded to a 1440p monitor. Alright, it being a TN panel means it doesn't have very accurate color reproduction. And depending on the angle that you look at it from, the colors appear very washed out. Alright, the more obscure the angle is you're looking at it, the colors tend to fade and get washed out. Maybe mine turns like a tint of orange, so to speak. And then next up we have another Asus monitor. Alright, this one's 2560 by 1440. It's a IPS panel. This has very accurate color representation. You can look at it from very extreme angles and the color stays crystal clear. Alright, they don't wash out, they don't sort of fade or anything like that. Alright, once again, this is a 144 hertz monitor. Both of these are actually FreeSync panels, and since NVIDIA allows you to turn on G-Sync with FreeSync panels now, although the FreeSync range on these isn't that great, this one's I think 35 to 90 hertz. So you actually have, if your game drops into that point, it'll kick on. But if it's above that point, which normally I run my games at, I typically run them at medium to high settings. Ultra doesn't do that much for me, so I'm typically above the FreeSync range of this panel, but it's still a good panel nonetheless. Next I have the Corsair K95 RGB Platinum. Alright, it's RGB keyboard. Alright, I have the Cherry MX Brown switches, and some people ask what the difference between the different switches are. So I actually have 2 switches here. Alright, so with the Cherry MX Brown switches, as you can see, it's a linear switch. As you press the key, the switch over here comes into contact with this metal plate, and that's what actually tells the computer which key you're pressing. So as you can see, you actually don't need to press the key all the way down. Alright, and the sort of clicky sound you get from mechanical keyboards is actually plastic hitting plastic most of the time. So if you don't bottom this keyboard out, alright, so if you're like me and you actually stop right around here where the actual click is, or not the click, but the like the tactile feel is, then you won't hear click. Whereas with the Cherry MX Blue, if you actually come down about halfway here, this plastic piece goes down, hits the bottom, and that's where the actual click is. Alright, but as you can see, it has sort of this is obviously slow motion, but it has sort of a reset time on it. So you press the key, and as you come up, this thing needs to reset. Whereas with the Cherry MX Brown switch, if you go halfway, come up, go halfway, come up, it resets pretty quick, so you can actually type faster, hit your keys faster, yada yada. Alright, so next we have the Razer Cynos Chroma keyboard. Alright, this is a membrane keyboard, and some people will actually ask me, why do I need multiple keyboards? Why do I need more than one keyboard? I'm actually using this as sort of like a stream deck, so to speak. Alright, it's 110 keys, so I have 110 reprogrammable keys on this. This is the cheapest keyboard you can buy that will actually interface with Razer Synapse software. So Windows by itself cannot actually see multiple keyboards. So if I put A on one keyboard, A on another keyboard, it will actually see them both as A. Alright, but with the Synapse software, I can actually reprogram the keys on this to perform different functions. So right now I have it stopping and starting recording in OBS, mute on my microphone in Discord, things like that. So I'm just using this as sort of a stream deck. Alright, so this is $50. Alright, I could go, I thought I had a stream deck up here. Let's go here real quick. Stream deck, Amazon. Let's just go to Amazon, look up a stream deck real quick. Alright, as you can see, alright, the Stream Deck Mini, alright, that's not what I want. Anyway, as you can see right here, the Stream Deck Mini is $99. The normal Stream Deck is $130-ish. Alright, and then the Stream Deck XL is $250. Alright, this is not a perfect replacement for a Stream Deck, but it comes pretty darn close for what I plan to use it for. Alright, if the time comes where actually I have those certain things where I can't do it with this keyboard, I need a Stream Deck for it, so be it. But I'm happy with this so far. Alright, next we have the Corsair Scimitar Pro. Alright, it's got adjustable DPI. Alright, 12 macro buttons on the side. You can set up different profiles for my game. I can set up different profiles for my games. That's the main reason I want this keyboard, just for the profiles and the macro keys. Alright, that way I have sort of less travel time on the keyboard for games, and I can just use my thumbs for most things. Alright, and then I have the Astro A40 mix amp and headset combo. Alright, so Astro A40s, I love this headset. Don't love the mic so much, but the headset is amazing. Alright, it's very comfortable in my ears. I can wear it for hours at a time without actually feeling any pain. Alright, and then the mix amp. The mix amp is so simple, yet so great. Alright, it's got obviously adjustable volume knobs, but the thing I love about this is that you can sort of drown out voice or game. So if you're in a game with friends, say in Discord or whatever, and they're being obnoxious, alright, they're being super loud, you can sort of just drown them out, turn the voice to minimal, or turn the voice to halfway, alright, and focus in on the game. But if they're saying something important, alright, and the game sounds aren't that important, you can just start to drown out the game. Alright, get their voice to come through a little bit more, drown out the game a little bit, reset. Alright, so total price of this right now, if you were to buy this exact setup right now, would be a little over $3,000. Alright, but as I was saying, I started building this about 2 years ago. Not all of this was bought at once. Alright, the most recent additions to this are the memory. Alright, the memory is a very recent addition. I actually got this a couple months ago. Alright, the CXM 750 watt power supply actually had a Raid Max Vampire 750 watt power supply. so I swapped it out because it had some damage. It had some actual damage to the power supply. It had some damage to the actual frame of the power supply itself, and I didn't want that to. I wasn't sure if that would actually cause damage to my components and cause the power supply to fail prematurely. So I actually just got rid of it, swapped it out. But this computer was built slowly over the past 2 years, so I did not spend all this money up front. Alright, the computer, when I first invested in this computer, I probably put about $1,200 into it, and the other $1,800 came over time. Some of this stuff was bought on sale, so I probably didn't spend exactly $3,000. Probably spent closer to $2,500 on CPU on this computer. Alright, so in addition to that, not this, I have a blue snowball mic. This is my main microphone, but I plan to upgrade this in the future. And I have this mic sitting on this InnoGear mic stand here. Alright, I have the pop filter attached. Alright, this is just a cheap mic stand. I have it mounted on my desk. I got some rubber pads in between here so that it doesn't ruin my desk. But my next upgrade here, I'm planning on going to an XLR setup. Alright, so I'm actually thinking about ordering this here, the Behringer Xenix Q802 USB mixer. And I'm planning on ordering this condenser microphone here. Alright, it's got pretty good reviews. Alright, I wanted to step up to an XLR setup, upgrade my sound quality, but that's not now. That's probably a month from now, sometime in the future. Alright, so that's the setup. Alright, next video I'm going to talk about my plans for the channel. So this is Bandwidth Hog here signing out.